is where I preach, I cultivate a haughty kind of speech, and ring it out as roundly as a bell. I've got it all by heart, the tale I tell. I have a text, it always is the same, and always has been since I learnt the game. Old as the hills and fresher than the grass. Radix malorum escupitas. I preach as you have heard me say before, and tell 100 lying mockeries more. I take great pains in stretching out my neck. To east and west I crane about and peck, just like a pigeon sitting on a barn. My hands and tongue together spin the yarn, and all my antics are a joy to see. The curse of avarice and cupidity is all my sermon, for it frees the pelf. Out come the pence, and specially for myself, for my exclusive purpose is to win, and not at all to castigate their sin. Once dead, what matter how their souls may fare? They can go blackberrying for all I care. And thus I preach against the very vice I make my living out of, avarice. And yet, however guilty of that sin myself, with others I have power to win them from it. I can bring them to repent, but that is not my principal intent. Covetousness is both the root and stuff of all I preach. That ought to be enough. Well, then I give examples thick and fast from bygone times, old stories from the past. A yokel mind loves stories from of old, being the kind it can repeat and hold. What, do you think as long as I can preach and get their silver for the things I teach, that I will live in poverty from choice? That's not the counsel of my inner voice. No. Let me preach and beg from kirk to kirk, and never do an honest job of work. No, nor make baskets like St. Paul to gain a livelihood. I do not preach in vain. There's no apostle I would counterfeit. I mean to have money, wool, and cheese, and wheat. Though it were given me by the poorest lad, or poorest village widow, though she had a string of starving children all agape. No, let me drink the liquor of the grape, and keep a jolly wench in every town. But listen, gentlemen, to bring things down to a conclusion, would you like a tale? Now as I've drunk a draught of corn-ripe ale, by God it stands to reason I can strike on some good story you all will like. For though I am a wholly vicious man, don't think I can't tell moral tales. I can. Here's one I often preach when out for winning.